Yeah, I think I mean, the difference between president and serving on a jury, I think it's sort of, it's obviously a little bit more scary for me because, our main contribution is, I guess, to give some focus to the jury that you have. And by that I mean is you have to set the criteria for what you're looking for and for what the judges should be looking for. You have to also make sure that, you come out with a Grand Prix or golds that are really deserve it and that it achieves that particular standard. And also you have to resolve conflict, I guess, between, should there be any conflict between countries or bloc countries where, I think it's become notorious it can, that certain countries hang together and judge in certain ways and that sort of stuff. And if work hasn't run, or if it's if it's been done before, people are supposed to come and I'm supposed to resolve it from that point of view. But I think the hardest thing is to take a bunch of highly talented global creatives and lead them in a way where you come out with an outcome that everyone in the world sort of relates to and thinks you've done a good job. And I think that's how it differs, really. The judging criteria are the same. I judge with the rest of the panel, but it's apparently it's the largest amount of entries they've ever had for radio this year. So I think it's going to be quite daunting, and they've added more people to the panel, which is also cool because then you get more of a sort of a representative vote for the great work. Certain countries, for example, if they Latin countries, so South America and some of the Latin countries in Europe might sort of support each other more than they should, and sort of Southeast Asia or people of like-minded areas, they do that sort of thing. Also, it's quite well known that countries try and publicize themselves to the juries, not in an illegal way, but what often happens is you'll arrive back in your room and there's a book of all the ads that are going to be in Cannes from a particular country. It also happens with global groups, so people bandy together and do that sort of stuff. Other things you need to look out for is work that's been presented before or done or entered before under a different guise. That's happened quite a bit before, and sort of trying to enter into categories that maybe it shouldn't be in when you've entered into other particular ones. So there's a whole bunch of these sort of this folklore of how people try and get more gold onto their table than just normally in a normal way. Yeah. It's quite interesting is that I think the way it's done at Cannes, and actually it was done in a very similar way at DNAD, is you're actually judging the work on an iPod, but what's really good about it is you get a translation coming up that you can read along with for the other language, for the languages other than English. You get a translation coming up there. Some countries actually re-record their spots in English if they think it's going to help them to be clearer. But the most interesting thing I've found is that I think most radio ads are judged on obviously the idea, the excellence of the production, and all of that sort of stuff. It's actually, you can do that. I think a case in point was last year at Cannes. Two of the spots that got golds after the Grand Prix, they were from, one was from Norway and the other one was from Thailand or something like that. But it's quite clear that when you read the translation, it's incredibly funny because the production had a tonality that was very sad. When you read the words with it, it became really funny. You could judge the production values just like any other ad, because you're listening to it in that way, and if the translation that you provided is good enough, you can actually get the context for how they're delivering it and what they're saying. They have a culture in that country which has been developed over the last 30 years where advertising and marketing are seen like rock stars. So they have TV programs around them, in primetime slots where they show the best advertising and stuff like that. There's a culture of when they do well internationally, it's like their football team doing well internationally and stuff like that, which is amazing. I think the thing that we probably don't do well enough is get our shit together before we go to Cannes. It's like all of a sudden, oh, Cannes upon us, and we haven't got it together, and then we're all trying to organize stuff together, and the will's there. It's just we don't have those organizational skills. So I think what we've just got to do is get around to planning it better. You know, there's always great South African parties that happen, but you only they're only being planned in the last 3 weeks just before Cannes and stuff like that. You know.